now, live from the summer.
What's up, everybody? It's Zed with iBUYPOWER. I'm here with Vicious, FGC commentator extraordinaire. I knew him as the guy I used to talk all the time at the arcade. Okay, yo, so first things first, you've gone from being one of those competitors, like I remember like the old like photo Vi posted of you with like the Sith look when you were playing Rufus. You were one of those well-known SoCal threats, and now you've become this really prolific commentator in the last few years. What has that transition been like? Have you been welcoming to that transition? Is it something that interests you more? Do you miss playing? Like, what's your feeling on that?
Two things I had to drop going into that transition, and it kind of made me depressed. One was my hair. Two was the competitive aspect of it, because I just loved being a competitor in the professional world of Street Fighter. I just loved grinding it out and learning from players all over the world. Now I didn't get to do that as much. Like into that transition, it was kind of weird because I was balancing a full-time job. But where it's at now, I'm loving it even more because I still get these opportunities to meet with all these top players, get into their minds, and at the same time study all of them without the risk of losing. Or getting downloaded. You know what I'm saying?
You get the love of the game without having to deal with the falls of it a little bit.
Yeah, more or less. Honestly, there are some like downs, but at the same time, you know, you can't hit every event. There's only one of me. But I really enjoy this aspect of it because it still allows me to pursue my passion into this wonderful hobby that is fighting games or video games in general, right? I still get to study the players at a top tier level and really be sharp and talk about everybody who is on that stage. And I also get to create these stories for some of those individuals who are brand new and who have made it to that top tier stage as well.
Tell me about the state of the FGC right now. It used to be Street Fighter was the North Star for all fighting games and everything like that. For you personally, what do you feel the state is in terms of like the games that are coming out? And no knock on Street Fighter, but there's so many games that are in the ecosystem kind of influencing different players, and people are trying to split between multiple games. How do you feel it is right now?
I think it's great because my personal opinion, the more fighting games, the better. There was a moment in time where nobody gave a damn about fighting games for that matter, and now we're getting this shot. So I'm not going to be like, oh, well, you know, my main game that I enjoy is not getting the spotlight anymore or as much, which is also not true. I still think it's great that other communities are now getting their shot. Like Tekken is going neck and neck with Street Fighter, if not better. You have other games coming out like Grand Blue that's turning into a fighting game that people are ecstatic for here at Anime Expo, by the way. And just other games getting pro tours and whatnot. Like that makes me happy. The more fighting games, the better. So the current state of the FGC is actually in a great place where there's a lot more games for people to enjoy. And it's not just stuck with Street Fighter and Tekken. Like everybody's getting the spotlight nowadays, and it's absolutely great for fighting game, video game fans across the world.
So next month is EVO. Right? There's a lot of there's always like stories developing. What do you think is the big story heading into EVO this year so far that you're seeing kind of develop, you know, in Street Fighter and in the FGC in general? I mean, like last year, a lot of it was like Goichi versus Sonic Fox. You know, what do you think is the big couple stories that are culminating around this year?
Well, it's funny you mentioned Sonic Fox because he was just our winner for CEO for Mortal Kombat. So right now he has the biggest target on his back for at least the NRS community. Personally, for like the Street Fighter scene, I know that Punk was doing total damage in the beginning of the year. Reciprocity's Punk, and then out of nowhere, Bonchan finally got his first premier win over at CEO, right? So it's still a lot being tested with some of the top players. It's still kind of ambiguous as to who's going to come out on top. What I really want to know in terms of like the story for the Street Fighter scene is we all know who Tokido is, right? We've heard of the name Tokido. He's one of the biggest talented Street Fighter players in the history of fighting games. He hasn't been doing too hot in the circuit. He might come out the woodwork. There's stories just like that, or there's other stories like, will Punk be able to dominate EVO because he was second the last time he was there on stage? With Tekken 7, it's completely unpredictable because there's just so many killers in that game.
So for your feelings, what are some things that you want to see kind of the FGC gain in the next couple of years? I know you're deeply involved in it. You can't say too much about all the projects you're involved in, but what are some things you're really looking forward to, you know, this EVO and past after EVO?
Well, we have a good amount of games coming out this year and the next for fighting games. So I kind of want to see more pro tours under the umbrella of other companies. I just want to see a lot more developer and company support. They're doing a great job right now. I just want to see more of that. I mean, I'm not trying to sound spoiled or complainer. I'm not complaining at all. I just think where they're at now is fantastic. And I'm hoping to see more, really.
Street Fighter 5. We have been hearing ethereal. If you can't talk about it, you can't talk about it. You're not a developer. You're just Vicious. But you're my dude. But if you can't talk about it, but like, what are some things hypothetically that you would like to see in this update or this thing that they are doing?
In my opinion, what I would like to see, well, executive producer Ono-san has been hinting that there's something big going on and that they might drop something over at EVO. And I want to say it's the extension of Street Fighter 6 or 5 as a series right now. I'm thinking about maybe Super Street Fighter 5. Maybe just adding that, and then maybe adding another mechanic to the game, just another layer of how the meta is currently played, and a plethora of characters. Maybe. I mean, we've seen it with Street Fighter 4. Right. It could happen with this one, but I have no idea at this point, and I'm just ready for it.
I mean, they got something. They've been doing pretty well with all the other games. You have like Devil May Cry, and everybody's like on that. And
dude, Devil May Cry, the RE franchise, Monster Hunter World, they've all been killing it. So I don't see without a doubt there's going to be plenty more support for Street Fighter. I also kind of said Street Fighter 6 in the beginning, like kind of like, I don't know if that's true, but if it is, you heard it here first.
Run it back, bro. So you guys are kind of taking over the kind of space that Gutex and Mike left behind. So one, what made you want to do it? I know you guys are fans, but two, how has it been going so far? What are some unexpected challenges or positives that you've kind of seen in the format you guys are doing and taking this on?
So one, it's more of paying homage to the greats. Mike and Ryan were such big influences for guys like me and Myers, Alex Myers, as a matter of fact, when it came to Street Fighter 4, when it came to content creation and just pure entertainment for fighting games, right? And we kind of saw that void and we're like, why don't we try to continue the legacy? We kind of mentioned each and every show that this is pretty much paying homage. We want to try to take this formula and continue the legacy, if not, under their good graces and blessings. I still haven't hit up Mike Ross about it. I would like to. But Ryan was like, sounds like a good idea. And we're like, let's go with it. So Alex Myers and I thought it would be a great idea to just push it. And for the show, a unique twist to it is that it's live streamed. Before, with Excellent Adventures with Gutex and Mike Ross, was that they would film it over a span of time, release it periodically. Whereas this one, we're just shooting it live, straight up, no rehearsal, no nothing, just going in raw, taking on the mean streets of ranked with or without the proper internet. And we also take on direct challenges from our viewers where it's like, hey, you get to pick our character, you get to pick the minds of a professional player, Alex Myers, obviously not me, and you get to hear me be a loudmouth about it while we play. So it's got a lot more depth to it.
I like the format, definitely. Like, what's some challenges you've had in the live format so far that you've seen? I mean, aside from it being live, like, what specific challenges are you kind of like, oh man, this is something you got to watch out for?
Playing random select is always the biggest challenge. You always get that like one off chance that you'll get your main character, but then the producers in the back are like, oh, we're gonna make it really hard. We'll pick two characters you've never played before, and you get to do that, which sometimes it's good. Most of the time for me, it's bad.
You're trying to keep it interesting, but it's tough to make. Yeah, you have to make an omelet out of whatever you got. Guys, thank you again, Vicious, man. Bro, I'm so proud of you, man. All right, Vicious, thank you guys for watching. Bro, it's a lot of fun.